Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Electric Bilodeau. Coming up tomorrow night over at the Charleston Music Hall, there's comedy legend Steve-O coming to play a show, and got a chance to speak with him earlier, I guess it was last week actually, and really funny guy. You know, he's been in the mainstream for 2 decades now. Of course, started off with the Jackass guys doing all those stunts and kind of moved over to stand-up comedy about 12 years ago, and that's where I got a chance to talk to him. So he previews the show, says it's going to be unlike anything anyone's ever seen for a stand-up show. So wanted to get a chance to hear from him, and here is Steve-O. Stephen Glover, much better known as Steve-O, joining us on Electric Bilodeau. He's got a show coming up at the Charleston Music Hall on December 7th. Steve-O, how's everything going, man?
It's great, man. On the tour bus with my bros, and life is good.
You've been doing stand-up for several years now, and you know, there's some people I worked with. I told them we were doing this interview, and they were like, "I didn't know he was doing stand-up." And just what's it been like for you to be a stand-up comedian?
It's been 12 years that I've been touring. I did 11 years in comedy clubs. And now I've graduated to theaters, and the experience has it's gradually become a multimedia thing, which marries all of my worlds together into one. And frankly, it's very naughty stuff.
What was the biggest thing as you started doing stand-up 12 years ago? What was the biggest surprise for you as you kind of made the transition into this world? That's something you didn't expect would happen.
I guess I was just surprised that I kept getting away with it. You know, it seemed like such a long shot to do it, and as I toured around all the comedy clubs, I did well enough to make another loop. You know, like this whole circuit, I just kept going around and around, and that was an indication that I was doing well with it. And you know, and I did so well with it. Now it's big theaters and a tour bus, so it's really cool.
You said earlier it was kind of like a graduation, going from the clubs and now you're in theaters. Is that what it feels like? Is you're moving up in this stand-up world?
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah, it's really cool. And this tour that I'm on right now is winding down. These are the last bits, so it's the last chance to see it live. And it's like I said, it's a really naughty show. It's all stuff that I never would have been allowed to do for Jackass, that I filmed on my own, like really like high level stunts. And after each bit in the show, I screen the footage of the crazy forbidden stunt.
And this is the bucket list tour that you're on right now. What's it like as you're winding things down? Is it harder to get up for a show every night, or do you still have the excitement each night that you did when the tour started?
Man, it's been an evolution of this show. The show is something I've been working on, like adding to, you know, subtracting, like really working on perfecting it. And I've got it in such good shape now that I'm thrilled to get up on stage and do it.
And it seems like from your description, this isn't just, you know, you get up with a microphone and tell jokes about relationships and whatnot. You're mixing in stuff from your Jackass days and stuff like that, and stunts and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's no overlap between this and Jackass. You know, it's all stuff that's kind of too hot for Jackass. So, as an example, I got a medical professional in disguise administering stolen general anesthesia drugs while I'm riding a bicycle, which is flagrantly illegal. It's genuinely life-threatening because general anesthesia drugs make you stop breathing entirely. I don't know if you know what an epidural is, but
Yeah.
in one of the stunts, I get an epidural, which means a 4-inch needle in my spine with drugs injected into my spinal cavity to render me paralyzed while I'm in a full sprint. And these are things that we would not have been allowed to do for Jackass. And I started producing all of my own stuff back in 2013, and the more I've done that, the bigger the productions have gotten, and now like I'm a bona fide production company, which is really cool. So, like, we filmed the opening sequence for the bucket list, and it's me being flown around, hanging from a helicopter on a rope ladder, and I drop off the rope ladder from the helicopter onto the roof of the moving tour bus, and then the tour bus delivers me to the theater. Yeah, like we've done some pretty big, high level stuff for this show, and it really shows.
How do the ideas for these stunts come? Is this you sitting around with a group of friends and just coming up with the weirdest stuff you guys can come up with, or do you see something and that makes the gears kind of turn?
I mean, ideas will come all different kinds of ways. And in this case, some of these ideas are like really, really old ones. One of them goes back to 7th grade. I was 12 years old in 7th grade when I heard the joke, "What's the definition of macho?" It's a man who jogs home from his own vasectomy. And I wanted to be macho, so I thought it would be a good idea to get a vasectomy and then do a whole battery of stupid things. And I call that the Vasectomy Olympics. And it's really a pretty fascinating bit. I think a lot of people have never seen a vasectomy, and they've definitely not seen the stuff I did after the vasectomy. And that is one particular video in this show. It's actually one of 3 different videos in this show that has proven to make some full-grown men pass out completely unconscious in the audience. I get dudes fainting at my show.
That's like a badge of honor.
Yeah, I mean, I've never heard of people fainting at a Jackass movie, and and they're passing out at my shows sometimes, and that's, I think, proof that I've genuinely raised the bar with this one.
I was going to say, you've had an incredible year just between the last Jackass movie and the tour you're on right now, and you just had a book come out a couple of months ago. Just if someone had told you 15 years ago you'd have this kind of year where you've got all these things coming out, what would your reaction have been?
I mean, I would have been stoked. I would. 15 years ago, things weren't looking good for me. I've been clean and sober right now for 14 years. So 15 years ago, I might not have even heard what you were saying.
Well, that was one of the things in the email we were sent about you. It said, for 14 years, you've been sober and you've turned yourself into a savvy businessman and entrepreneur. And I was thinking 15 years ago, would you have thought that was even possible? Even hearing the words savvy and entrepreneur.
Right. I mean, I wouldn't have been, nobody, least of all me, thought that I would live this long, let alone be thriving the way that I am. So, yeah, I'm really, really grateful for everything that's happening.
Before we let you go, coming to Charleston next week, have you ever been to Charleston before? Any memories you've had being here before?
I don't know that I have. I haven't been there in the last 14 years.
So there could have been a trip and you just don't remember. Very
much so. Yeah.
Is there anything you're looking forward to getting out and doing?
I mean, I stay pretty busy when I'm on the road. I've got a whole crew on my tour bus with me. I travel with an editor. I've got we're always filming something or other, and just producing some kind of content. and the bus just cruises along, and it's wild, man. So I don't have anything in particular lined up for Charleston, but I do know that I've got some dear friends coming to the show there. So that always kind of ups the stakes for me when I've got people who are important to me in attendance. So I'm going to really give it hell that night.
Awesome. Well, Steve-O at the Charleston Music Hall coming up on December 7th. We are very excited. Can't wait to see you, and thanks so much for taking a few minutes.
Hey, man, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And we'll see everybody on December 7th.
Can't wait, man. Thanks so much.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Right on, brother.
All right, thanks so much to Steve-O. Once again, playing over at the Charleston Music Hall. Coming up tomorrow night, tickets are still available, and the opening alone sounds like it'd be worth it to go see that show. So thanks again to Steve-O. Go see him tomorrow night. That's going to do it for Electric Bilodeau today. We will see you guys later this week.